But it is always very, very challenging in these times of converging markets to figure out how to put the pieces together. And that may be no truer than in the area of AI gadgets. We have covered this in the past several times about a bunch of new AI gadgets that have come out, and probably not the best term, AI hardware, right?
Mhm.
And one of them that made a ton of hype at CES, so I guess it would have been what, January, was Rabbit. And this was this square, if you haven't seen it, the square orange thing, and it was supposed to be the super simple AI powered device. And they have apparently sold 100,000 of them. And the latest number from its CEO is that only 5,000 of these are now in daily use, which shockingly, in my opinion, most of us looked at that number and go, oh my God, that's horrible. And the CEO seems to be talking about it positively, like, hey, there's 5,000 people that know that adapted their day-to-day workflow. But for most of the industry, we're looking at going, this is a sign of a real challenge of figuring out where this is going and does it make sense. So I'm curious, what's your take on the entire AI hardware space?
I have been awed by the amount of money spent on hardware for kind of unknown tasks over the past few years. I think this is happening both in the AI space as well in the extended reality space, where Meta, of course, has been spending whatever $20 billion a year, and everybody else has also been competing in that space. But we're having trouble trying to figure out what this next great device is. Everybody looks at the success of the iPhone and even the former iPod, the iWatch, and some of these related things, and think we can create the next design, the next great device if we just add enough AI to it. But we've had between Alexa and the Humane Pin, and now here with Rabbit, a few different AI type of devices that you're supposed to be able to talk to and get great results from. We've had some assistants on the phone with such as Siri or Cortana that have given mixed results. We're still not quite there yet in figuring out how to combine that discussion and workflows and human tasks in a way that is any better than what your phone does.
Well, I think that's the real issue. There was another article, I think, from Fast Company that said that AI devices are in their flip phone era. Implication being just what you said, that we're in this interim period and it will have something emerge, and maybe that's true. But I think that the big challenge that all of these devices are having is that the phones or the watches can now do all of these tasks and potentially better. And why am I going to carry another device around? And we didn't put this on our list, but yeah, Meta has demoed. I didn't want to put on this because it's not a product, but they're calling it Orion, their next version of their glasses. But they're themselves, the reason it's not a product or not even a product announcement is that they have acknowledged that it's just not ready for prime time yet. But I do think, well, if I'm bullish on anything, it's going to be something like that, something, a wearable technology that is sort of embedded. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be very challenging to see how that develops. And I think, I do think it's indicative or telling that we're seeing much less investment in this space all of a sudden, right? It was this big, huge thing as far as the AI hardware, and now it's all sort of fallen away.
Yeah, I think there's kind of two big problems. One is, do I have a device that can do targeted conversations that match exactly what I want to do, either on a personal level or at a corporate level? I don't think that trust level still exists quite yet on conversations for conversational AI. And we're not even sure how to train something to match our exact wants and needs in that regard. And the other piece of the puzzle is I'm not sure that the hardware is really there yet, because we still struggle to some extent with computer vision. We really don't have very good computing hardware for other senses, such as touch, especially. Touch is super hard to replicate with something like a hardware device, much less something like smell or taste, which we're not even close to even imagining. A lot of these things necessary to imitate human interaction in a way that would make AI more embedded into our lives just isn't there yet. And there
Well,
hasn't really been that money put into that primary technology.
and we can't forget that I think part of the issue is something that I've been talking about a lot is that we don't actually want more devices, right? And that's what this represented. It wasn't a replacement for a phone, Rabbit, that is. And
Mhm.
so it's just another device. And instead, I think what we're looking for is something that goes the other direction, right? It's what I call ambient technology, that it's just sort of there. I stopped thinking about it.
Mhm.
There's a stupid show, I think it's on Amazon Prime, called Upload, and they, in their case, they have this little thing you wear on your wrist, and that has all of your tech. And then if you want to use your phone to do like a video call, you do this, and it just projects it into this space on
Mhm.
your hand. That, like, if someone can actually bring that sort of technology to market, I think people all over it. It's almost like the anti-gadget. And it's interesting because the Orion thing that Meta demoed had not only the glasses part, but this wrist component, and that helped to identify the movements and what have you for like avatars and what have you. And so I